It's full time. Man United. Oh, sorry. It's Man United 1, Burnley 1. It's United that was hosting this beautiful game of football at Old Trafford. Smash like button, comment and share. I know most of you are really pissed with the performance of Man United, and I tell you what, I'm also pissed. I'm also very, very pissed with how we've gone ahead, obviously, late this win slip out of our hands with very many chances created, and few of these people really never wanted to obviously kill off these chances, because Garnacho had like 3 chances to kill off this game. Anthony had like 1 or 2. Eriksson had 1. Bruno Fernandez had like 2. So we had very many chances to obviously kill off this game of football, and guess what? We failed to pull out what we are supposed to be doing. And here's what happened. We found ourselves in a position of really costing ourselves the game and points, because that howler that Onana makes at the end of the game, towards the end of the game, wouldn't have gone ahead to haunt us if at all we went ahead obviously score our goals. But we failed to kill off our chances, and guess what happened? We resorted into really what we call blame shifting and mourning. You know, before all that comes, I know exactly what Onana is going to do, but ask yourself, how many chances did we have to obviously kill off the game? That is the hugest question that you have to ask yourself and really answer. How many chances did Man United have to kill off this game? I tell you, they are not just a handful of chances, but they're just plentiful of chances. Very many chances we had to kill off this game of football, and we didn't. But I tell you, I'm going to see very many people go after Onana, all what, but guess what? However bad Onana was, he kept us in the game. He kept us in the game for very many times. But I tell you, chances were like chances. They were pouring like anything. But all in all, the game of football has ended not in our favor. Smash the like button, comment and share. If you're only watching us for the very first time, endeavor to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. Let's obviously get to this business and really talk Onana at first. Now, why am I starting with Onana? I believe in not entertaining the same mistake again. If you remember the opener between Man United and Wolverhampton Wanderers, Onana came in through and missed the ball and really fouled the player of Wolverhampton Wanderers. And guess what? VAR, the referee said no, and United wasn't really given a penalty. Sorry, United never considered a penalty. But after the game, VAR came in through and really apologized to the side of Wolverhampton Wanderers that would have gone ahead to go down as a penalty. This time round, Onana comes out, misreads that ball. He misread that ball, and this is where I feel like, where is his mind always? Because he fouls the player when Aaron Wan-Bissaka has gone ahead to head that ball. And what was the reason of him getting out of his goal? Because Bissaka was there and he was really doing the needful. I don't know where there is a law or a rule of goalkeeping written anywhere that if at all you see your defenders on and the ball is in his vicinity, you obviously come out. Because the reason as to why he misses out on the ball, it's because he misses out on the ball and really gates onto the player of Burnley. It's because Bissaka heads that ball. And why was he coming out? That was my hugest disappointment. Why does he have to come out like that to obviously cost the side of Man United? Very shambolic goalkeeping from Onana, and I think that is really unforgivable. I tell you, there are some mistakes I can really go in and say, all right, Onana, it is okay, it's happened. But this mistake, this one is unforgivable. It's unforgivable. If you know the number of points Onana is going to hit to cost us this season, they are really huge. I tell you, we're out of the Champions League single-handedly because of Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Sorry, because of this guy. We're out of the Champions League because of we're out of the Champions League because of him. You know, we conceded, I think, the first goal we conceded in Munich after controlling that game fully, it's because of him. You can all agree with me. It's because of him, right? Then after that, he goes ahead to obviously cost us a red card and a goal. By the way, 2 goals that came in through because of him when you're playing Galatasaray at Old Trafford. Why does Casemiro gets a red card because he really does a very poor pass to Casemiro, and Casemiro goes ahead to foul. After Casemiro does the foul, it results into what we call a penalty, and Casemiro is given a second yellow card, second bookable offense, sent off. You get? Penalty given, it goes in the back of the net. For the third goal that they score, I'm talking about Icardi, you know, Onana goes down before even, right? Onana goes down easily before even Icardi chips that ball. And who is to blame for that? It's obviously the same guy. So I tell you, it's really very unforgiving for Andre Onana for everything he's doing for the club of Man United. I tell you, he had a very beautiful game today, but when you keep doing such, I tell you, it goes down the road and everyone will obviously come to you, because we've gonna have to really get out of the Champions League because of him. Even away in Galatasaray, I repeat this on several occasions, that we were out because of him. You know, 2 shots on goal that he went ahead to give away that resulted into those goals. And you ask yourself, for how long are we going to find ourselves in a vicinity of really enjoying ourselves? Because it's really very unforgiving for him to continue doing such. And if you're a United fan, you will really throw it or mirror it to Erik ten Hag, because he's the man responsible for really doing this, you know? Because it's written nowhere that even if we create very many chances, all those chances will go into the back of the net. It's written nowhere. So, in the very many chances we created, you know, and we never scored, there came a scenario that is always usual, that you can fail to create chances, get that one goal. After getting it, how do you defend? That takes you back to what Sir Alex Ferguson came out and told us, that games, he told us that clean sheets win trophies and goals win games. Now, if you're a side that wants obviously go anywhere, you need to keep clean sheets. And today, Andre Onana, who had gone ahead to take very many times without keeping a clean sheet, had gotten himself a chance to keep a clean sheet, because Burnley wasn't going to score in an open play. No way, because all those shots at goal that were really directed to him during the open play, he went ahead to obviously get or deal with them very well, and they never obviously caused us any problem. But when they obviously were not in the game, he played them into the game. When did Man United last keep a clean sheet? I think we last kept a clean sheet when you're playing against Everton. But after Everton, I think we played Liverpool 2-2. After Liverpool, we played, there was Brentford, it ended 1-1. Chelsea 4-3. Bournemouth 2-2. Coventry 3-3. Sheffield 4-2. Then this game has gone ahead to end 1-1. Now, 6 games consecutively, he has not gone ahead to keep a clean sheet. He had a chance to keep a clean sheet, and guess what happened? He didn't. He costed us that penalty. And this game, we've gone ahead to draw points because of Andre Onana. However much he played his part, but he washed and later lined his clothes into the mud. That is the guy. He went ahead to really line his clothes into the mud as the goalkeeper, because Bissaka had gone ahead to deal with that ball very well. I understand Casemiro went ahead to make a very bad decision, but I tell you, for me it was not bad, because when he headed that ball, it went into the vicinity of Bissaka, and he was like heading it back to the goalkeeper, old Bissaka, and Bissaka got hold of it and headed it, and the team of Burnley went ahead to shoot that ball, and it went into the corner. You get? So there was no threat. There was no threat for United to come out and really concede, but we really went ahead to give away that ball easily by Andre Onana, and it is really unforgiving for me. He has to be answerable, and such performances are really uncalled for, because he did it when you're playing against Wolverhampton Wanderers and was forgiven and has gone ahead to do the needful. And in the game we played in the midweek, He is really, 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 really responsible for the first goal. And I came here and told you that he had taken very many games without doing mistakes, because I don't really remember the last time Andrew Onana went ahead to do a mistake when you're playing the game of Man United. But 2 consecutive games, he has gone back to his default mode. You know, he's going back to default mode and is really doing these things. And I'm like, someone was going to have to say here that I just want to see the season come to an end. Where is he? You know, I've gone to hit someone saying here that I just want to see this season come to an end. That's what I'm up to. That's what I'm up to too, because I believe this season should come to an end. Guys, it should end. It should end. And good enough, we've gone ahead to play our 34th game of the season. We are left with Crystal Palace, Arsenal, Newcastle, and Brighton. Let this season come to an end. I'm fed up of it. I'm fed up of it. I just want to see this season climax, because even if you really expect something better from Man United, you aren't gonna get it. You aren't gonna get it. You know, the inconsistency is really too huge. We need to see these players really shown the exit door and obviously get out of this club of money, because they can't get any better. And I really liked the decision that was made that close to 11 players can be shown the exit door. For me, I don't mind even if all those players are really taken out 11 and we bring in like 4 5 and then we integrate in with academy players. I think we can be doing better as a club of Man United. But let's not really sell our souls to these players, because they're not doing well and they're not really fantastic. But Andrew Onana had some good saves, you know. At the beginning of the game, he kept us in the game with that beautiful save. He had another beautiful save. This was 1-on-1. You see it there. Then he also had that one too. And there is another one he really made with his foot at the near post, you know, into the dying minutes of the game. Really did. He really had a very fantastic display, I tell you. But it's always said the end justifies the means. What justifies the means is always the end. So, with what he has gone ahead to offer, I think it has gone ahead to cost us. And this would have gone ahead to be some good points in our pocket to see to it that we get into the better positions. But he has gone ahead to do it again. And there are certain things where you come out and really feel like a season has to go on like that. You know? If injuries are really affecting us like this, we're not having our first 4 choice central defenders, then we shouldn't be conceding goals like that. The goal we conceded against Sheffield shouldn't be really go in. The goals we conceded against Coventry City shouldn't be crossing the line. The goals that we conceded against Bournemouth, Brentford, Chelsea, shouldn't go in like that. There is no way you defend like that, because all the goals we've gone ahead to concede, they don't need what we call elite defensive systems. All they need is players to be in their right mind. But it's like these players are not into their right mind and they're really being disturbed by certain things in there for you. And that's why I tell you, it's really time this season gets ended. We should call it off. We should call it off. You know, we need to see to it that we really chase away these players. These players are not supposed to be here. Most of them, by the way. Most of them. And I tell you, the more we keep these players here, the more we are going to obviously not proceed to where we deserve to be. Like I told you in the morning about Marcus Rashford. Look at how we play when Marcus Rashford is out. The team plays very good. Look at our offensive play. It's really good. You know, all fronts were really acting very well. Garnacho was good. Anthony was good. Even Ahmad came in through the middle. And we had a very good attacking force and formula. But we couldn't kill off the chances, you know. We couldn't kill off the chances. If I'm to count the number of chances we created today, they are really huge. And in the previous game, if at all you noted, we had 27 shots at goal. And you're going to see how many we're going to hate to be having this time around at goal when Marcus Rashford is out. It shows you that Marcus Rashford is the weak link in this team. When he's out, the fluidity is really huge and the rhythm in the final third is really great. But get him in, you're going to see all our energy drop, because he doesn't track back, he doesn't really do that quick passing, he doesn't really put in a shift that is really well required. But we had the chances to kill off the game of football, but we didn't. That is it. And if you are to be kept in such a scenario, all a stance, you need to obviously be good at defending and not be ready to obviously get out those chances. That is it. But we gave away very many chances. And Onana saved us, but it later let us down into that moment. But I want to talk about Erik ten Hag. This time around, I'm going to fault him because you can't be needing a goal and you take off your number 9. Was Rasmus Hojlund injured? I know he's going to come out in a press conference and he's going to be asked that, why did you take off Rasmus Hojlund? He'll say it really had a knock, and that's what he said about Garnacho. But Garnacho never had a knock, and Garnacho is playing the game of football till up to now. You get? I'm faulting Erik ten Hag for what he did today. There is no way you tell me, right? There is no way you tell me that Man United, right, takes off their number 9 and they bring on Scott McTominay. What a hell was he thinking? What a hell was he thinking as a manager of Man United? I want to know what exactly was going down in his head. You get? What was going down in the head of Erik ten Hag to take off Rasmus Hojlund, take off Kobbie Mainoo, and really keep Eriksen on the pitch, you know, keep Antony on the pitch, right? I know Antony scored, but I think if you keep Rasmus Hojlund there, we really have more chances of really scoring very many goals. If he took him off and brought on Whitler, I would have gone to say, all right. But ask yourself, you are taking off a number 9 who never had service. And it's him who was really getting players to these people. Did you see Rasmus Hojlund being played in at any time? You get? No way. No way he was being played in. They never played him as a player. So he was not really given the time and the time to obviously do the needful. And let me show you this. It was him who was really providing and creating for these players of Man United. You get? That is really very ashamed, if at all, you know, the role of a player. Let me show you what he was doing for these players. And for them, they never did anything for him. They never did anything, and it was really very, very, very bad for a player of his caliber not to be played in the number of times he always wanted to be played in. Yet for him, when he gets that ball, he's unselfish and keeps playing them in. So we really missed out on very many chances, I admit. But let me show you this chance that he created for Aaron Wan-Bissaka, and he was like, why don't you really score? And this was a very huge opportunity that required only one touch. And guess what Aaron Wan-Bissaka went ahead to do? He missed out. He was like waiting forever, as if he was in his own grandyard to really kill off the chance and really hit that ball. Look, Rasmus Hojlund gets hold of that ball and plays Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Look at the yards of space Bissaka is having. Look at the yards of space Bissaka is really having, and Bissaka was like waiting forever to hit that ball. In this area, why do you control the ball? These are the players I want us to get rid of, because if you are in this vicinity and you think of really controlling the ball, yet it was just a single touch that was needed, hit it. Hit it, all else, go in for a double pass to Rasmus Hojlund, you know, and find space here and really create chance for him to score. And he lost it out, and that's what Rasmus Hojlund was doing that entire game, running, doing the needful, and was not being played in. And I asked myself, why did Erik ten Hag take him off and keep on Antony? I understand Antony lands onto that gift, you get, and he scores. But ask yourself, how many times did Antony cost us today? He scored his first Premier League game. He costed us a lot, I tell you. Because you can't come out and really bring on Rasmus and take off Rasmus Hojlund, put Bruno Fernandez, who is your best creator, take him out of the number 10 position, and you get Scott McTominay to be playing into that midfield. I don't understand what Ten Hag was all about. That was really bad for me, you know. You took off Kobbie Mainoo, you brought on this guy, and you want Scott McTominay to play into that double pivot, which for me I don't find very okay. Don't find it very okay, and that was a mistake that Ten Hag really did, because you would have gone ahead to keep him on for like 80 minutes. And we are going to be resting for a full week. Are we playing a game in the midweek? I doubt. I think the next team we are playing is going to be Crystal Palace. You get? And Ten Hag has gone ahead to fall a victim of crossing the bridge before you reach it. Let's first get this job done and dusted and then think about the next game. right? Let's first get this game of football done and dusted, and then we think about the next game, you know. And by the way, we are even playing on Monday. How many days? 28th, 29th, 30th, you know. We are going to rest for close to 8 days, and you take off Rasmus Hojlund, a player who is going to be having a rest of 8 days. You take him off. You have no other striker on the pitch, and you get him off. That was really very, 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 very bad. Very, very bad. And that substitution is really uncalled for, because a player who played on Wednesday, rested on Friday, rested on Thursday and Friday, you take him off, you get, and he's going to be resting for 8 days. What's the plan there? What's the plan there? Yet you all know, you told us that Anton Martial, Lisandro Martinez and Luke Shaw are going to get back into training on Monday. Meaning that even if Rasmus Hojlund gets injured, Anton Martial is going to come in through. I know he's an injury-prone player, but I tell you, he can play the remaining 3 or 4 games of the season, and then Rasmus Hojlund will come in later. Why do you take off Rasmus Hojlund? For me, I fault him for that. You take off Rasmus Hojlund, and you don't really have to really question the manager. I think Ten Hag did something wrong. Though it went ahead to pay off that Anthony scored that goal, but you all know that you lose shape. You lose shape. You'll totally lose shape, because you need a striker to be your focal point. And Rasmus Hojlund does that better. But how do you take him off? How do you take him off? You get? And you keep on Eriksen. You keep on Eriksen. You keep on Eriksen. You take off Kobe Mainoo. All those substitutes were really bad. Kobe Mainoo had to stay on the pitch and play for all those minutes. Right? You kept on Eriksen. You took off Kobe Mainoo. That was very bad of him. Very bad of him. You know, if Lisandro Martinez and Shaw are returning in training, one of those two can be played as a centre back alongside alongside Harry Maguire. When you play him as a centre back alongside Harry Maguire, then Casemiro comes in his midfield to play a double pivot with either Mount or anyone else. You get? So I really fault the manager for those substitutions, and I think they're really very bad. But before I go to the manager, we missed very many chances. We missed very many chances. If I'm to show you a little bit of the chances we missed, let me obviously try to really show you a little bit of what chances Man United went ahead to miss and how they were like. Because I've shown you that of Aaron Wan-Bissaka, but before that of Aaron Wan-Bissaka, there are very many. Garnacho, and this was Anthony. Let me show you Anthony here. Anthony had this big chance. You see it? He had that big chance. You know, he missed out. You get? And you keep Anthony on the pitch, who was going to hate to miss out on a chance like that, and you take off Rasmus Hojlund. That is really very bad. It's very bad. Very bad decision by the manager. And he would have gone ahead, obviously, exonerated himself at all he won this game of football. But having gone ahead to see to it that we lost, then there is no time for us to obviously do the needful. And this is the man he kept on. He had another chance he missed here. Anthony had that chance to miss. You know, Garnacho played him in on his left foot and couldn't obviously bury that ball in the back of the net. You get? A man had close to 4 chances and he couldn't obviously kill them off. And a man who had no chance to score was taken off. He was taken off. You know? Ten Hag, I tell you, if he gets himself a sack, he'll be the reason as to why he has gotten himself sacked. Because look at what he has gone ahead to do. And these were really very, very bad decisions made by him. And there was another chance of Alejandro Garnacho that got blocked. Look at that. You see? We had chances. How many are those? I think those are like 6 chances in the penalty box area. You get? Garnacho's chance got blocked, you know. So we had, I tell you, we had a mammoth of chances into this game. There are very, very many. And I tell you, we had all the chances to kill off this game. And We had this one of Bruno Fernandez, released and failed to obviously kill off the chance. That is Bruno Fernandez for you. That's another chance that went ahead to miss. And he went ahead to shoot out of goal. You understand? So, chances were there, you know. And this is why I tell you that these players need to get serious. If they don't get serious, there is no way we are going to find ourselves in the lead. You know? That is it. If we don't get serious, there is no way we are going to find ourselves in the lead. Garnacho had this one too. You know, Garnacho would have gone ahead to score like 4 goals today. That is another chance that came in through in halftime. Sorry, at the beginning of the game. Garnacho had to kill off that chance. He never killed it off. But I have a question to pose. Do you remember the penalty we considered against Coventry City? You know? Does it differ with this one? I want VAR to come out and tell me, does it differ? Does it differ? You get? Look. Anthony goes in for a shot. It hits onto the hand of this guy. Is this hand in a natural position? This is where VAR sucks. I tell you, this is where VAR sucks. You say this is not a penalty. Yet, the hand of Aaron Wan-Bissaka was in the same position. The ball struck him. When that ball struck him, he had nothing to do, and you came out and said it's a penalty. And you gave it as a penalty. You understand? So, where on earth isn't that a penalty? I tell you what, VAR sucks. VAR sucks. You know, they are too inconsistent to be into this ilk of obviously coming in through to do the job for us, with the people who believe that they should be doing better. Tell me how this isn't a penalty. Bissaka concedes it, and this guy doesn't concede it. VAR is a farce. It's a joke. As I've always told you, VAR is a joke. And I tell you, Garnacho was put down twice in the 18 yards box area, and he wasn't given that penalty. Unite, you get? And even Casemiro was put down. I don't know to what extent does a player needs to obviously find himself in what we call getting down, and then you really measure on the weight of the tackle. I tell you, every tackle in the 18 yards box area of a player when he goes down, I tell you it's a penalty. It's a penalty because you are really blocking that player from really getting himself into scoring positions. I ask, if Casemiro went down like that, or Garnacho went down like that when he was in the 18 yards box area, wouldn't the referee point or call for a free kick? He would have. Then why didn't he call in a penalty? I think this is the inconsistency that I've always gone ahead to talk about, that has gone ahead to eat up the side of VAR. They need to be doing better and better and better as far as this is concerned. And let's go into the stats in here. Man United, 27 shots. Burnley had 16. 10 shots on target, and out of those we had 1 goal. That is really very disgusting. 7 shots on target by Burnley. 47% ball possession by Man United. 53% ball possession by Burnley. That is really something that is really uncalled for at the club of Man United. How can Burnley come in through and outpossess us? You know, that is out. We should be having a better possession as a club of Man United. That is it. You get? So, I think we need to be really doing better at certain things. You know, that squad of United had everything to obviously come in through and win the game of football, but we didn't. And it really went ahead to cost us a lot as a side of Man United. And I tell you, it really leaves very many questions on the job of Erik ten Hag and the vacancies of these players that are at Man United, because they need to obviously show us that they're really better at the job they really want to do. But I tell you, VAR is also a total joke. I tell you, VAR is a total joke for me, because all those, to me, they're supposed to go on and really be what we call penalties. You get at least out of those 4 claims, I think one would have gone ahead to stand. And I'm waiting to see how the VAR is going to come out and really explain to us as to why those are not penalties. You get 406 passes completed by Man United, 447 passes completed by Burnley, 78% passing accuracy by Man United, 78% passing accuracy by Burnley, 7 fouls by Man United, 11 fouls by Burnley, 1 yellow card to Man United, 3 yellow cards to Burnley, 0 red cards to both sides, no offsides for Man United, 2 offsides for Burnley, 6 corners for Man United and 5 corners to the side of Man United. And this is how this table looks, and it's really very shocking. You know, even UEFA Europa League is at stake, I tell you, because we have gone ahead to play 34 games. We are having 54 points. Newcastle has played 34 games. They're having 53 points, you know, and we've gone ahead to play 2 more games than Spurs. And if at all Spurs win their next 2 games, they'll go to 66 points. And we had a chance to obviously have 56 points and be 4 points of Spurs, because Spurs is playing Arsenal tomorrow. If anything happens to go in favor of Arsenal, that means Spurs will be at that level. So we've gone ahead to blow another opportunity by the, because Spurs has 3 games coming in through Arsenal, Liverpool, and Man City, you know, and Chelsea all. So it's really gonna be a very huge moment, you know. But even UEFA Europa League football is really threatened by the teams that are really behind us. That is it. So that's how it went ahead to end. 1-1 in favor of no one at Old Trafford. I think United are really doing bad. Alfred Ken, many times he causes a loss to the team. Have seen how he punches that. Have you seen how he punches that player? He performed well, but that mistake makes him the worst in that game. Yeah, he makes it the worst in the game, because if you're a goalkeeper, your job is to keep your team in play. That is it. Your job is to keep your team in play. The moment you don't keep your team in, the moment you keep your team in play, and you obviously give out a goal cheaply, then you are to blame. They are very far to win any game in the remaining matches. I don't see them beat Crystal Palace, Newcastle, Arsenal, Brighton, because those teams are good than these. Yeah, they are good, but Lisandro Martinez is on his way, Martial is on his way, and Luke Shaw is on his way. I believe if Martinez goes in that central defense, then Luke Shaw goes in the left back, Casemiro, Kobe Mainoo in that double pivot, I think that team can get better results. According to me, we can. But the longer they take without coming back, I don't see us winning any of those games. Nelson Mwesuga, good evening. Already, good evening, my brother. Vidic, Ricky. Oh my God, this team can stress me. And I think if you really thought that there is anything positive you're going to get from United this season, then in the remaining games, then you're going to get stressed. But for me, I wrote off the season. I ended the season. All I'm doing here is to give you what the match direction is, and then later we'll go in the transfer window and see who's going to be the next manager of Man United. Is Erik ten Hag staying on hold? That's what I'm waiting for, and see who is going to come in through to do the negotiations of these deals that I'm going to hit, obviously coming through at Man United. Twino Mugisha. I don't know why players no longer have a winning mentality. Getting a win, it's after a last whistle. Rokani, how I wish this season ends now. Yeah, it should end now. It should end. But in your head, end the season. But just be here to see that you support Man United. Watch the games and see how the preseason is really going to go. Fab Emma, there is nothing much to say, but our team is rotten. Players need to go. Total loss this season. Henry J. Uganda, thank you. Bijura Prita, Man United is totally off. I think Erik ten Hag is gone. I don't think he's gone. Tumusime, Elisa, hey, Kayonga Johnson, I'm soon giving up on this team. Yeah. Allport Charles, the players are the ones putting Ten Hag job in danger. I have a pity to the job. Yeah, because they got clear-cut chances. They couldn't kill off the chance. They couldn't kill off the game. I tell you, I've gone ahead to blame Andy Onana, but at what point are these players of Man United going to know that when we get chances like those, we need to kill them off? Vidic Eriksson was not supposed to start in this game. He was very lazy. Yeah, very lazy. And you saw how porous we were in the midfield when he obviously played. And I don't know why Ten Hag really goes in to bring Eriksson in when he's having Amrabat, you know? Silva Onyait, I'm very annoyed with Erik ten Hag with what he did. That sub. How can you remove Kobe Mainoo and leave Eriksson in that pitch? Is he really normal? And same mistake he did against Coventry. You get? So, I think you have to first cross the bridge before you reach it. That's the problem Ten Hag is doing. And those substitutions he made for me, even that of Rasmus Hojlund, I was pissed. Looks like he wants Anton on the field of play. But he had missed out on 3 clear-cut chances. 3 clear-cut chances, penalty box chances. Anthony missed out onto them. And you kept him on the field of play, and you took off a striker who had not gone ahead to be fed, yet Anthony was supposed to be feeding him, right? It doesn't make sense. Eriksson was supposed to play over Mount. The guy couldn't run. Yeah, you're right, he cannot run. Big Yarrow, the most useless coach in the world. I don't think he's useless. However much he's making mistakes and substitutions, but let's get to know that he's having players that are really incompetent. And injuries are really all of us. Sylvia, I'm disappointed with Aaron Bissaka. How can you miss the chance, which is like a penalty, guys? Can someone explain what happened exactly? Obviously missed it, as I showed you in the frame. Kayongo Aaron, this team is too fragile. Please go for Inter Milan manager. Sell all players. Sell Onana. You cannot sell Andrew Onana. For me, I think Andrew Onana is okay, but he has gone ahead to come in a season where United is really very bad. That is it. And the miscommunication that central defense is really huge. The central defense partnership changing. The problem is not taking off Andrew Onana, because Andrew Onana can be played at any better team in the world. Pep Guardiola is the hugest admirer of this goalkeeper. I tell you, you give Pep Guardiola Andrew Onana today, he benches Ederson. I tell you this. He does. But the problem is, this team of Man United is really disintegrated in that central defense, and the communication is really poor because the goalkeeper needs to face different centre-back pairings. And I think for the first 3 consecutive games, we're going to have to see United not changing their centre-back pairing, Harry Maguire and Casemiro. But also, the communication is just forming up, the chemistry is just building up. You get? It differs. I tell you, if at all De Gea was facing this central defense, I tell you, he would have gone ahead to obviously concede goals like he didn't last season, because those people that keep changing would have gone ahead to obviously need him to obviously learn how they play better. And Andrew Onana is new at this club. De Gea was here for so long and knew everything that everyone could do. Lister, Bolesheng, why doesn't he play? Ahmad came on through and really played. For me, all I wanted was to see Ahmad start, but Ahmad came on and played. He played very well, but the manager made a very huge statement that I went ahead like about Ahmad, that he needs to fight for his position, and that is it. That he needs to use the minutes he gets very well, and I think he's trying to use the minutes he's really getting. That is it. All he needs to do is simple. Continuing to really show up every time he's brought on. Because if a manager has his favorite, you need to really outperform that favorite that he has in the few minutes you get to really outcompete that player. Paul says, I told you Ten Hag is as bad as his decisions. I don't think he will help. Guys, every manager is going to have to make bad decisions, but ask yourself, before he made those decisions, how many chances did you create? How many chances did we miss? How many players looked out for our number 9? Those are the questions that you should really look out for, because Garnacho had very many chances to obviously release this guy, Rasmus, but he didn't. Prita, Rokani, tell us. Let us all agree Ten Hag has nothing to prove to this team. I've been shielding him, but enough is enough. Let's accept the coach is also... Let me tell you. However much I've gone ahead to obviously come out and really blame him, it doesn't mean that they should give him a sack. And I tell you, 90% chance he's going to be the next manager. He's going to be at Man United next season. Because the problem at Man United is being tackled by the main guys. Ten Hag can do the job. He's struggling with injuries. Doesn't have quality players. Get him quality players and a competent board. I'll come here and tell you, if it outperforms and makes stupid substitutions, that he's the reason as to why we are really losing out. So, not until that happens, I tell you, I won't give all that blame to Erik Ten Hag. The blame is on the board, you get, that has failed to really get rid of these players. If Ineos fails to really do what we call a shake-up at Man United, even if you bring in which manager, nothing's going to happen, because we are having players who down tools and they should be out of this club. Kayonga Aaron, the VAR is ever against Man United. The penalty win they gave against Bisaka was denied yesterday. Even today, it has just gone ahead to obviously get denied. That is the stupidest thing of VAR, and I tell you, VAR is a joke. Kalyango Paul, Ten Hag needs time, but we had very bad substitutes today. The substitutions were really very, very bad. Sylvia Onyayet, guys, I'm so excited about Casemiro, but Casemiro is really playing very well, and I tell you, it's very hard to now hear a story that United want to sell Casemiro. He's really performing very well. Very, very good. Very, very good. He did a lot today. Alal Dinkins, Mr. Aradi, I don't blame Onana. He did what he had to do. I blame the coach and other players for wasting chances for the ref VR. No, every player has to come in and every player has to come in through and really pay what we call a penalty for what he has gone ahead to do. If we fault the players that have gone ahead to do that, then if we are in the 89th minute, right, why do you have to risk yourself? Why do you have to risk yourself in a situation that causes us to concede a penalty? That's where he gets the blame. I told you he performed very well. He performed very well. He performed very well. I tell you, he performed really very well. I loved whatever he really did on the day. But he washed and lined his clothes into the mud. You get? And everyone is going to forget everything he did. If that penalty came in through at the beginning of the game, he came in through and made those saves, and he won that game, no one would have gone ahead to even be reminded about it. But people are reminiscing about it because it's the reason that it's the difference on United walking away with 3 points and United walking away with 1 point. That's it. And he has to take the concern. Garnacho today is selfish. Yeah, he was really selfish today. I think he needed to obviously do, but he went ahead to give a good ball to this guy, Anthony. I showed you that chance, and Anthony went ahead to obviously miss it. Onana is very good. No goalkeeper can't make mistake. Yeah, he's good. He's good. That's why I tell you in my words that I want him to be here. We signed in players to have a very competent centre-back pairing, and I see how he's going to be faring as a goalie. Alal Dickens, Onana is very good. No goalkeeper can make. Oh, yeah, Bijira Martinez will not play as good as he was even he comes back. So this season is a disaster. Obviously, if at all he doesn't, let Luke Shaw stay fit because Luke Shaw can also play as the left back. Garam Luka. All right. Toxic Club United, no more support. All right. Understand. He's really pissed, and I understand his level of fitness of getting pissed. Then Silva Onyait, the remaining games, we are losing all. With me, all not Crystal Palace, Arsenal, Crystal Palace, and Brighton. We are done, Mr. RD. With you, like it or not. By the way, I'm not giving United a chance to win any of those games. That's unless otherwise, I see Lisandro Martinez in that team and Luke Shaw into that team. If they're not in that team, I tell you, we are going to lose. We are going to lose because Crystal Palace is really a very hard team to beat at their stadium. Kalyango, a lot of injuries also costed the team, but all in all, coach is to blame. Today, I blame Ten Hag. Ten Hag takes the blame, Anthony takes the blame, Garnacho takes the blame, and Onana takes the blame. I blame 4 players in that game because Anthony had 3 chances, more hard than the one he really scored and couldn't score. Garnacho found himself in like 4 or 5 positions of releasing out players, but he couldn't. You get? Onana, you saw what he did at the end of the game. The manager, the substitutions were really poor. Silva Onyait. Guys, you can complain about Onana, but he saved us today. Yeah, he did. So you mean, if a person has been, let me give you an example, an analogy. Now, if a policeman has been protecting your home very well for 10 years, and he finally breaks into your house and steals your money, you let him walk away with your money because he has been a very good policeman. Do you? A crime is a crime. A mistake is a mistake. And you cannot treat a mistake as something right. I've already told you that every player is as good as his last 50 minutes. I tell you. Now, Onana is as good as his last 50 minutes. You know, Most of you don't remember that went ahead to obviously cost us a goal against Sheffield because he got saved by the players of Man United when they scored those goals and really pulled 2 back and put 2 up front, and we won by 4-2. Today, he looked like that, and we have to blame him for that mistake because it's really horrible. It's because of him. It's because of him. Bijirwa, Erik ten Hag is not a bad coach, but he does decisions that end up costing us. However much he made those decisions, by the way, to flip the coin, as I told you at the beginning of this video, that Erik ten Hag came in through and made those substitutions. Now, Anthony, whom he kept on the field of play, came up and really scored. I tell you, if this game is won with Anthony's goal, everyone would have wanted to call Erik ten Hag a genius, that he sacrificed Rasmus Hojlund to keep Anthony on, and he scored because of his tactics. You get? But because we've dropped points, that's why people are saying like that. But on my case, even if we won that game of football with that goal of Anthony, I would have gone ahead to blame the manager for what he went ahead to do, because that is really unacceptable. I tell you, it's unacceptable. I'm having happy Chris. Let's try to plan for next season. That is it. That's it. For me, my vibes are for the summer and see which players are going out, which players are really coming in. Paul says, David, you are saying that players don't get chances for a number 9, which is supposed to put... What is supposed to put that right? It is the reason why teams have the coach. I ask myself, what Ten Hag in charge to do with Sweat? Or now I understand, but let me ask you. Anthony, Ten Hag put out a story yesterday. I did it in the morning if I only watched that video, when he was talking about Rashford, that he keeps complaining and telling him that he should track back and put in the energy. That shows you that he tells these players to do it, because Ten Hag has gone ahead to be coaching sides like Ajax that have gone ahead to be creating chances for their number 9s, and the last season he was there, Sebastian Haller went ahead to score like I think 10 plus goals in the Champions League, and in their league he scored like, was it 20 plus? That is Sebastian Haller for you. So I don't want us to come here and say that you mean the coach just tells them don't create chances for the number 9? No way. Why did Hojlund have to go to the coaches and report Dalot and Bruno Fernandez for not finding him out? Because he knows that they are being told to do that and they don't do it. That's why I tell you, we need better players at the club of Man United. That is it. That is it. Chakuwade Barnabas, for sure Onana is supposed to be the player of the season at Man United. Let us respect him and wait for that. Guys, Onana cannot come close to being a player of the season. My list has the following people: Kobe Mainoo, Diego Dalot, Alejandro Garnacho, and Bruno Fernandez. Those 4 players have gone ahead to stand out. You know, he can't be the player of the season when he's going to cost us moments. You know, I told you at the beginning of the video that we are out of the Champions League because of Andre Onana. That is it. So how can we come out and make him a player of the season? I tell you, either Kobe Mainoo or Garnacho or Dalot or Bruno Fernandez is going to be voted as the player of the season for the club of Man United. Onana is no way. I respect his efforts. He has gone ahead to improve hugely in the recent games, but what he has gone ahead to do today, and they didn't go with Sheffield, is unforgivable. I tell you, it's unforgivable. Then Alal Dickens, what should Onana have done to that? What should Onana have done to that in that situation? You mean he should have left the ball to go? No! Bissaka had already gone ahead to head that ball. The reason as to why he missed out that ball is because Bissaka heads that ball out. You understand? So he comes out, yet Bissaka has gone ahead to head that ball out. What was the reason for him coming out? You know, he never even got to that ball, because if you punch that ball onto that player, no foul. It's a foul because he goes into the air when Bissaka has already gone ahead to obviously hit that ball out and misses out onto the player and misses out on the ball and hits the player. That's why the penalty was given. You get? Silva Anyate. I'm so excited about Casemiro today and Harry Maguire. They defended very well, by the way. They defended very well and put in a very beautiful ship for the club of Man United. Guys, thank you for watching in through. I sign out for now.